Hello, my name is Tom Stiles, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show number 385. And what you were hearing now was not coming from either of these two radios. It was actually coming from the Grundig 750, which has an external antenna. And this morning I decided I would try, emphasis on the word try, to do some reception testing of these two radios, specifically the new one here, the new Eton 400. And I'm able to receive, as you heard, hopefully. Gee, I even had the attenuation on. Turn that off. WWV, excuse me, on 10 megahertz at 7:30 in the morning here in Florida is loud and clear. Now, granted, that's the 750 with an external antenna, and I'm not trying to compare these radios to that setup. I'm just using that as a reference to give me an indication that signals are out there and they should be able to receive them. So let's start with the new radio, and it's tuned to 15 megahertz. So let's go to 15 megahertz. See how we're doing on this radio. Nothing there. Okay, so that's what I was looking for, a reference. So let's go back to 10 megahertz. Loud and clear. Okay, now we're gonna dial 10 megahertz into this radio, hopefully. Let's see. Okay. Gotta remember, oh yeah, I gotta change bands. I hate that. Okay, now we crank her up 10 megahertz. And we'll crank and we'll crank. I should use the sync option, but I thought I could get there without too much difficulty this way. Dee-da-do. Well, let's try something else. There we go. I use the undocumented features to get there a lot faster. So we're at 10 megahertz. I'll extend the antenna, keeping in mind that, let me back up. Well, no, that's fine. In mind that I've got all the ambient news. Jesus. I gotta quit doing these videos this early in the morning. Ambient noise from the room. So I'm not getting anything. I was earlier getting a little bit. Let me take it away from my monitor. As soon as I get it, let me move the camera away from the monitor. Okay, I'm getting it. It's weak. I got to keep it away from my monitor and computer, or computers. And if I move around in the room, I can hear it. Just barely, but I can hear it. So that radio is receiving it, but barely. So let's turn that one off. Okay, you heard the tone there. Okay, we'll turn that radio off. So that was the new Eton, Mini shortwave radio. And here is its predecessor. Where'd you go? Its predecessor, which is the Grundig Mini 400, which basically is the same radio, although the new Eton has a couple of new features for scanning. So let's see how it does on receiving. We'll turn it on, and it's on 10 megahertz. Get away from computer and monitor. Except for the noise caused by stuff in my room, that's coming in pretty good. Especially if I touch the antenna. Now, keeping in mind this antenna is really short, so that's part of the problem. Well, it's coming in loud and clear, I would say. And probably if I took it out of this room, you wouldn't hear all that background noise. So let me go back to the other radio and touch the antenna and see if that improves it. No. It's there, but not as strong. Rotate it as far away as I can get from, because when I move away from one computer, I'm moving close to another computer. And I can't hear the ticks now. So for that sample, there it is. I got my finger on the top of the antenna, or touching the top of the antenna. So anyway, turn it off. So anyway, for that sample of 1, the older model seems to be doing better. It would not surprise me that the electronics in these two radios are the same. The functions are the same that exist in both radios. And the format is the same. Well, somewhat. You got this band selection on the side, band selection on the side. Buttons are in a different place. So that's the big difference. Now, let's try another frequency. 15 meg. We tried 15 megahertz, and even the 750 could not get 15 megahertz. So let's kind of tune around here.
40 minutes.
Boy, that's booming in. Now, one thing I can do is I've got my switch, my antenna switch hooked up, and I've just dropped I've got the adapter, kind of crude. This adapter doesn't fit very well. Let me get the camera back so you can see what the heck I'm doing. Okay, here's the adapter, which is not very good because you're only getting, since I can't connect to ground, you're only getting part of the effect of the outside antenna. Let me switch it over, and I'll turn this radio back on. Boy, just bringing that antenna close to the radio helps. Extend it a little bit. Whoop. Yeah, see, I'm just bringing noise in because I can't hook up the ground. But I was getting, boy, when I was getting it pretty good there for a second. I don't know what I did. Just for a second, I was getting it pretty strong. That's the problem with trying to do a reception test on the air, so to speak, because conditions are changing all the time. And like I say, in this room with all the RF floating around, there's a lot of interference. That was interesting. When I first turned this radio on, I got the signal really strong. Try turning it off. and then back on. No. And I had the antenna collapsed. I think it's what it's telling me, which is what I already know, is that the ambient noise in this room, the RF noise, is just overwhelming this radio. So once the weather cools down, I can get back in my shop downstairs, and I've only got one computer that I use, and I don't have that turned on because I use a camcorder to record downstairs. I don't use a webcam. So let's just kind of tune the bands here. We're up to 11 minutes on my video, and we got to switch it.
Pasaba del Caribe el huracán Flora, atravesando el estrecho de Colón después de haber destrozado.
That station must be close by. Let me just try tuning it. 9850. Hoy en Cuba, donde dominan débiles altas presiones, buenas condiciones de tiempo, tendremos un día soleado pero parcialmente nublado en la tarde, con chubascos y tormentas aisladas más frecuentes en la Yeah. That's boy, putting my hand on the antenna sure squelches some of the noise in the room. But that station coming in loud and clear. It must be down in Cuba or maybe even in Florida. And that's why it's booming in. So let's try something else. That one's too easy to get. S meter is pegged. Another one booming in. I think that's out of Tennessee. 9.580. .58. Yeah, there it is. Turn the volume up. Don't hear anything. That's strange. I don't hear any alarm on. 9580. Really weak. So let's try the other radio. That's the other problem with using live radio transmissions is it consumes a lot of time to tune the radios and everything, especially on these non-digital. Now this one, I just noticed that the manual tuning knob on this radio works much smoother than this one. And it, let's see, yeah, I'm getting the third decimal point, so it's the same increment as far as the tuning. 9580. except for the noise, this is coming in a lot louder than that radio. Turn the volume down. So I'm gonna turn the volume down. Turn the volume down, and I'm gonna do just some tuning tests here as far as the actual tuning capability. Let me see if I can kind of get both of these radios in one hand, and I'll zoom in a little bit so you can maybe see what I'm talking about. Okay, I might put this one down and do one at a time. But here we're at 9. I don't want any noise. Okay, we're at 9.580. Doesn't show a 0, but it's a 0. And then I'm going to turn this knob, tuning knob. Turn it slower. So it changes the frequency fairly smooth. But say I wanted to go from, see, this is at 958. Let's go back to 958. See, it's taking me a long time. 958. Okay, we're at 9.5, so they're both the same frequency. Now I'm going to tune down to 9. That's probably too far. Yeah, I'm going to try to get down to 9.00. And I even got a timer here. I don't know how well this is going to work. And I don't have the timer in the screen. And you can't see it anyway. Whoops. There we go. Okay, got punch this, get this display back on. So I'm gonna need another hand. I'm gonna start this timer. Now I'm going to try to tune down to 9.00. See how long it takes. This may take a long time. Here we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, we're getting there. Hang in. You're almost there. We are there. And that took approximately 30 seconds. So let's stop, reset, put that one aside. Now we're back to 9580, which is where we started before. And we will start the timer. There, that shows up better. And we'll start tuning. Oh, wouldn't you know it? Gee whiz. Okay, let's stop this. I didn't realize it, but this radio, it stops at 9.1. Let me see if that's right. Yeah. It stops at 9.1. That wasn't a very good test. So we're going to try it again, and it's at 9.1. And we're going to tune up to 9.6. Let's go to 9.6. I was thinking about 10, but that may take a half hour. Okay, so we're going to do a 9.6. So let's start the timer. And we're going to tune up. Try to show it to you. Oops, we went past 9.6. Now that wasn't a very good test. So it took about 10 seconds. Okay, so we're going to start at 9.1. Okay, let's move up some. Okay, 9.1. And we're going to reset the timer. And like I say, it took about 10 seconds on this guy to tune to 9.6. So we're going to start the timer, and we're going to start tuning up, go the right direction here. Tuning as fast as I can. 9 points. Come on. We're up to 9.3. Still got a long ways to go. 9.4. Still got a long ways to go. 9.5. 9.6 at 25 seconds. So this radio, the Grundig, took about 10 seconds. You know, I'm not very accurate here, but about 10 seconds. This radio took about 25 seconds. Whoa, I thought this seemed kind of slow. Now, and they're both tuning at, let's just see if I can show you here, tuning at 0.005 increments. In this one, we'll turn the button here. Same thing, 0.005 increments. 0.005 megahertz increments. So it's not like the increment on this radio of the frequency is different than that one. It's interesting. That is really interesting, and to me, that's really a negative for this radio, that it tunes so slow. Now, granted, this radio has, let me turn it display back on. This radio has these hidden features where you can make it tune, where it can jump around the band. So that makes a big difference. And then you can do this search option, which will search for a strong signal. This one, to my knowledge, let's just try it. Wrong button. It would help if I push the right button. Okay, that, and this is, so this has the option where you can jump around the bands, but it does not have the option to search. When you saw that flipping there, it wasn't actually searching. It was just, when I was pushed and held it, it was just jumping through those steps that it can do. So this one, the manual tuning appears to be 2.5 times faster, or this one appears 2.5 times slower, and this one has the advantage of that search capability. So that's kind of a trade-off. I like this. I like the search capability. You know, if the programs that I want to watch are not on the air and I just want to go find stations, that search capability really comes in. So with this limited amount of testing, there's a couple of things we found about these two radios. One, this one appears to be a little more sensitive as far as reception. That's the Grundig Mini 400. It also appears that the manual tuning is a lot faster than this radio. 2.5 times faster on this radio. That's what it appears. So we're almost up to 25 minutes, so I'm going to stop the testing for now. We're going to do some more testing on these radios, and it's really, you know, it's a trade-off which of these two radios you want to buy. Keeping in mind the average price of this one right now is about $20, and the average price of this radio is about $35, and I've seen it higher. I've seen it higher as $70 on eBay. So anyway, that's the show for today. If you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up. That tells me that I'm presenting shows that are of interest. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.